All right. So honestly, my recommendation is to do this study for all of these angles, like multiple times. I can guarantee if you do, let's say 20 of them, your 20th one will absolutely be better than your first one. Maybe not too obviously, because it's very difficult to tell progress with your own work. But 20 might kind of show results pretty quickly. But if you do 30, 40, 100, your 100th one will absolutely be way better than your first one. Just keep doing this over and over again. I promise you, repetition is the key. And look for all the things I talked about. Are you getting your forms right? Are things lining up the way they're supposed to regarding the jaw, the cranium, the cheekbone, the eye sockets? Always go back and double check. It's like, oh, did I go too far with the jaw in the back or too forward, right? So those are the things to look for. So let's go ahead and close all this down, and we'll try to sketch some without looking at any reference. And I like to multitask. So one trick you can do for this part of the assignment is to just lay in a bunch of starting shapes, the primitive egg shape. Do a whole bunch of those and then go through each one and add parts one by one. So that's what we're going to do. Egg, egg, and they're going to be different angles, of course. Some will be similar, some will be more head on, some will be looking upward at. And since we're here, let me just talk about layout real quick. I know it's not a portfolio course, but something to keep in mind. If you have design elements where you have iterations of costume or character expressions or something, what I like to do is what I like to call bricklaying. So if you have a brick wall and you want your first layer of bricks, so you put them there, your next layer of bricks, you wouldn't put them directly on top of each other, right? Because that would kind of look weird. Although some architects do that to make a statement, I guess, or I don't know. But what we do for structurally sound engineering, we're going to offset, right? So things are offset with the bricklaying. And that's exactly what we're going to do with where we place our objects. Notice that they're not aligned with each other. They kind of fit into each other's negative spaces. So you might end up with an odd number, but that's perfectly fine. Even having said that, you don't have to have them all be the same size, because you can kind of have a layout like this and kind of make things a little bit interesting by moving a couple over and saying, hey, this is actually my favorite one, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. But the shape design of the page is going to be more fluid to look at if it kind of has a nice flow of offset, because that bricklaying, what that will do is cause a kind of zigzagging effect where you start somewhere and you feel like you're moving forward because there's a space here. But if the objects were directly above each other, it just kind of feels boring. It's static. There's no dynamic movement. So try to offset things. And this also goes for paintings in terms of where you paint darks and lights, and you kind of checkerboard and bricklay. Everything is in everything. You'll find things showing up in every corner of the art world. Drawing, painting, designing,